The city streets were hauntingly silent that night, interrupted only by the sporadic wail of a distant siren or the hum of cars passing by. Officer Daniel Hayes adjusted his bulletproof vest, his radio crackling with updates from dispatch. He had patrolled the neighborhood for years, and despite its notorious reputation for crime, he had learned to accept the dangers lurking in the shadows. Yet tonight felt different. As he rounded a corner near an abandoned construction site, he spotted movement in the darkness, and his hand instinctively went to his holster, the hairs on the back of his neck standing on end. Something was not quite right. Out from the shadows, a stray dog emerged. The dog was thin, its ribs visible beneath a coat matted with dirt, and its ears perked up as it cautiously approached him, amber eyes locked onto Daniel's. The officer sighed, relaxing his posture. "Hey there, buddy," he murmured, crouching slightly. The dog did not flee. It merely stared at him with an intensity that sent chills down his spine. It wasn't pleading for food or seeking shelter. It was trying to warn him. As Daniel stepped forward, the dog emitted a deep, guttural growl. Then, without warning, it lunged, not at him, but past him. A sharp bang echoed through the air, and Daniel barely had time to react before searing pain ripped through his arm. He dropped to the ground, instinctively reaching for his gun, the world around him becoming a blur as he struggled to focus on his surroundings. A masked figure appeared from the alley, gun raised, but before the assailant could fire again, the stray dog charged. The animal leaped at the masked man with a fierce ferocity that took him by surprise. Its teeth sank into his fabric, snarls filling the air as the gun clattered to the pavement. Stumbling back, the attacker cursed while trying to shake off the dog. Fueled by adrenaline, Daniel fought through the pain as his training kicked in. He reached for his weapon and in one swift motion shouted, "Freeze, man!" The assailant hesitated, but the dog didn't. It held on, its growls intensifying as it wrestled the assailant to the ground. Backup arrived within seconds, sirens blaring, tires screeching as officers stormed the scene. The overwhelmed attacker surrendered, but the dog, Daniel's unexpected savior, lay motionless on the pavement, a deep wound staining its fur red. In the hospital room, the scent of antiseptic and fresh linen was overpowering. Daniel winced as the nurse tightened the bandage around his arm. His injury wasn't fatal, but healing would take weeks. However, his thoughts weren't on himself. "Where is he?" he rasped, his voice rough from exhaustion. The nurse smiled gently. "The dog? He's in surgery at the vet's clinic. Your fellow officers ensured he received the best care possible." Relief washed over him. "Did he make it?" he asked anxiously. The nurse hesitated. "We don't know yet." Daniel clenched his fists. The dog had saved his life, risking everything for a stranger, and now it was fighting for its own survival. Days passed, and the city buzzed with stories of the heroic stray dog who had saved a police officer. People called the station, offering to adopt the dog if it survived, while donations flooded in for its medical expenses. Finally, Daniel received the long-awaited call. The dog was awake. Upon entering the clinic, Daniel found the dog lying on a blanket, its wound stitched up but still weak. The moment it saw him, its tail wagged slightly. "Hey, buddy," Daniel T. whispered, kneeling beside it. "You really are something else, you know that?" The dog let out a soft whimper, resting its head against his palm. Daniel needed no further convincing. He signed the adoption papers that very day. Months later, the stray, now named Shadow, had become more than just a pet. He was family. Riding with Daniel in his patrol car, he was a symbol of loyalty and bravery. The very neighborhood that once ignored him now showered him with affection. And for Daniel, every time he looked at Shadow, he was reminded that sometimes heroes emerge from the most unexpected places. The moral of the story? Bravery and loyalty know no boundaries. Often the most selfless acts arise from those we least expect, reminding us that kindness, whether given or received, has the power to change lives forever.